Okay guys, I'm going to reassemble this. First thing you want to do is get the gasket for that little cover. I just got done cleaning the carburetor. Now in my carb kit that I had received, here are the gaskets that came with the kit. There's a diaphragm, brand new needle valve, whatever you want to call that. Came with a roll pin. So you know what gets me is on these kits, it comes with like this new needle valve and roll pin and shit, but it doesn't come with that spring. Like, does a roll pin really fucking go bad? You can afford to put a roll pin and this pendulum thing in the fucking kit. Even this doesn't really go bad half the time, the fucking needle valve. But like, they can afford to put that in a kit, but they can't afford to put like a fucking little Chinese fucking spring in there. It's beyond me, it's silly. Just a little simple spring like that. And you know, a spring's a wearable item too. So I don't understand why the springs don't come in a fucking kit. It's stupid. But here's a little cover that went on there. Here's a brand new gasket for her. You just want to lay your gasket on there the way it was. Lay your gasket on there the way it was when you took her off. Put that cover back on. And the two screws that held it in. If you have big fingers, this job really fucking sucks. And you want to snug them up good. Be careful not to strip the screws. It'd probably help to use a number 1 screwdriver. I'm using a number 2 right now, but it'll work. Got them tight. Now what you want to do is you want to get your new needle valve. And you want to get the stab that right in the hole where it goes. And this is a tricky fucking part. You gotta get the little fucking pendulum fucking whatever you want to call this thing. I don't fucking know. And the roll pin. You want to get them together. Ready to go. And this is the shitty part. You gotta get that little spring in its recessed hole. If you guys can see that right there. Oh boy. Right there. My camera won't fucking stay where I want it to. Right there. I got the spring in the fucking recessed hole. And what you gotta do is you gotta work the little fork underneath the head sticking up on the needle valve. See that little head? You gotta work the fork under there, and you still gotta get the spring underneath the pendulum fucking thing too. It's a real pain in the ass. You gotta work that under there. See if I can do it on camera without it taking too long. I don't even know, you guys probably will just see my hands anyway. You won't even see what the fuck I'm doing. Oh. But in. I'm just trying to work that son of a bitch in there. God damn. There we go. I got her in there. Now I gotta get the little screw. Get the little screw. And screw that son of a bitch in there. Snug her up. And then you have that back together. You got the needle valve, the shitter, the spring, the cover, everything right the fuck back in where it went. Brand new gasket, brand new everything in there. So that's good. Next thing you want to do then is you can assemble the bottom half of your carb then. First thing you're going to want to do here is you got to get your metering diaphragm right here. You see how that one's nice and flat and it's really uniform around there. Well, a used one, where did I put that used one? A used one will be really chooched like that. Can you guys see? Turn on the light. You guys see how? Probably not. I don't know if you guys can see it. There, maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. It's all wrinkled. There you go. Focus, buddy. It's all wrinkled and shitty around there. And then here's a brand new one. You see how nice and smooth it is compared to that? That's pretty bad right here. So what you want to do is you want to put this on there, and it goes obviously with that little titty right there, pointed down, because that's what pushes on your needle valve arm. You want to put down, I'm sorry, you got a gasket here. You want to put down first, and then you want to put on your metering valve, your metering diaphragm, like that. And then you want to put on this piece right here. That goes on there. And then you have your spring. And you have whatever the fuck you'd call that. I have no idea what you would call that, but that goes on the spring like that, and that's what pushes on this diaphragm which my kit did not come with one of these, which kind of sucks, but it didn't. That fits up in the bottom of the case here. And then it goes right on top of the carb. You gotta line up all that good stuff like that. And then you can put your 4 screws back in. It's under spring pressure, so you gotta hold it down as you tighten at least 2 screws. You get that tightened, and then you can move on to this side of the carburetor. What you're going to want to do on this side of the carb is you're going to want to get your cover that covers this side, okay? And you want to put down your diaphragm on the carb first. Make sure it's all nice and clean. And you're going to take your diaphragm and slide it on there. There's only one way it could go on this carb, so you can't fuck it up. And you see how those 2 ears right there and there cover those 2 holes right there and there, and they act like flappers, and that's what always goes bad in most carburetors when they won't run. When you give them a little shot of ether or intake cleaner and it'll run, but it doesn't stay running, it's because it's not getting any fuel. It's either usually because of the hoses are dry rotted and cracked, or because that diaphragm's fucked up. Now I'm getting ahead of myself. Way before I even put this diaphragm on, what I want to do is I want to put in that new screen that goes in here.